Hello, friends and family. Summer has arrived at the Monastic Academy, so I decided to bring this video outside into our front yard. This is the amazing view from the porch of the center. We went on a early morning hike yesterday, 4:30 a.m. hike to Mount Norris, which is the closest mountain to us, in honor of our head teacher Soryu for All's 20th anniversary of ordination. He was ordained as a monk in 1989. At a monastery in Japan called Sogenji, where he trained. He went there when he was 19 years old. Spent a good portion of his 20s training there and training in other centers around the world, really. He was in India and Thailand. We also have the beginning foundation of, I don't know if you can see it, of this yurt that we're going to be the meditation space. We've been fundraising for that for months, actually, since I've been here. And before, long before I've been here. So that dream is finally being realized. Recently I hit the 6-month mark. I'm in my 7th month here, which is really exciting. And it feels like a constant evolution. Every month we spend a week in silent retreat. In the last 2 retreats, we've been meditating on the porch because the weather's been nice enough, but mostly because we've been doing a lot of construction work on the zendos, the meditation spaces, turning them into a guest space, so we can have more room for guests to come and visit. And it's amazing to have this as your landscape for meditating. I really can't believe that I get to meditate with this as my view. But meditating in silence for a week, once a month, and really getting 9 to 10 hours of time on the cushion during that week feels a lot like diving in the ocean and having a set of waves coming at you and just having enough time to get a breath of air before diving under a wave again. So each week-long intensive retreat is, another wave pummeling you or, really knocking the wind out of you. And then you come up and you're back in the nonprofit, you're back in managing the nonprofit, or I'm back managing the kitchen and doing the grocery shopping for 15 people and training new interns as they arrive, which we have a number. We have 3 that came last Sunday, and we had 2 more come yesterday. It's super exciting. It really brings just a beautiful energy. I mean, the weather brings a beautiful energy, and having new people excited about what we're doing here and excited to participate is amazing, soothing, comforting, exciting, stimulating. Not to mention the work, the cleaning of the center that would take the buildings and grounds team the entire day to do now gets done before 11 a.m., which means we can do all sorts of new projects, creating training curriculum, and focusing on outreach with community members and doing all the things that we just don't get a chance to do, or that we didn't have time to do. So, still waking up at 4:30 a.m. every morning. I've actually been waking up at 4 a.m. now. I've been motivated by another resident to jump in the pond before morning chanting at 4:40, and the water's warm enough. The sun is rising now. At 4 a.m., the sky starts to get pink and orange, and the sun is setting at 8 something. It was the summer solstice on Thursday, and we had kind of a special ceremony for that. Our teacher has lived with and trained with the Lakota people, and so something unexpected and incredibly beautiful about being here has been learning some of the gratitude songs that the Lakota people have and have shared with him. It feels like getting a language, a spiritual language and a spiritual literacy, a way of expressing spirituality, a way of expressing gratitude and prayer that I didn't have before and I didn't know I was missing in my life. And so having it is amazing and exciting. One of the songs is Tonka Shela Pila Maya Yelo Pila Maya Yelo Pila Maya Helo Hey Wicha Somiwa Maya Kucha Pila Maya Halo Hey. So it's a way of honoring Grandmother Earth and Tonka Shela and Wankantanka, which is maybe the all-powerful one, or spirit, or God, or maybe that's how a lot of us would think of Wankantanka. But yeah, it's so great to learn more about other traditions. And get to absorb other people's wisdom here, because everyone has so much wisdom and so much to offer each other, and I just have this overwhelming gratitude for living in community right now, especially having spent the year living in Philadelphia. And it's my responsibility to cultivate community, but I remember just feeling so alone there, living alone in an apartment, and sometimes not talking to another person before noon. And now, as soon as I wake up, I have the opportunity to, if if I'm making myself oatmeal, I have the opportunity to make enough for 10 other people and just leave it on the stove for them. Or, I mean, this is a day off thing. During the week, we're, there's a breakfast cook and they cook for everyone, and we have a silent breakfast together, and we have, 2 hours of chanting meditation. But on Monday, which is today, it's just nice to roll out of bed at 7 and, feel the personal energy to make a vegan banana bread, and then, have someone else walk in and make coffee and get to talk to them about how they slept and give them a big hug. And I realize I've spent, I really haven't talked about any of my meditation practice or the training here in this video, but I think I'm really basking in the glow of being in community, which is amazing. And just makes me feel like I can do the work that I know. It feels like it's, my work is cut out for me, doing some of the inner unbinding or inner exploration that is necessary. Right now, really focusing on bringing compassion to myself, and then when I find the stuck places where I'm like, oh shit, I can't, the compassion doesn't go there, there's a blockage, then switching to equanimity and saying, okay, I'm just gonna observe this experience and the way my body is responding, the resistance my body has to receiving self-compassion, and then toggling back and forth when I'm struggling to bring equanimity to the experience, then having compassion for that, and trying to just not compound the resistance with shame or judgment or disappointment about where I am, and instead bringing, to the extent I can, bringing a playfulness, a humor, a love to daily practice. It's been good. The thing that makes me sad, or the thing that's hardest about being here, is I'm so in it almost all the time that it's been a challenge for me to be connected with my loved ones, my family and friends outside of this place. And that makes me sad. I mean, I love you all so much, and I know, whether consciously or unconsciously, I'm choosing where my energy goes, and I feel like it's going to some really good places here, both in personal work and also in sending a lot of my energy and attention and love to the 12 other people that I'm living with, and the people that I'm meeting in Vermont. And I know, one of the things I have to let go of is being able to do everything and being able to connect with everyone all the time, which is a really hard thing for me to accept, because I want to do it all. I want to be able to love and share compassion and support. But I'm trying to center myself so that when I do that, I'm coming from a grounded place, a place that can actually be of benefit. And starting to figure out the difference between helping or longing to help from a compulsive place of not feeling valuable if I am not needed, versus knowing that my value is inherent. I have nothing to prove. I am worthy of love and belonging, as Brene Brown would say. And then from that place of wholeness and self-confidence or self-love, being able to model and offer, grounding for those I'm lucky enough to come in contact with. I think I'm realizing something that Soryu, our head teacher, does so well. Being a fulcrum, being this centered, stable, trustworthy base. Something that we can rely on as we disintegrate and reintegrate and lose faith in ourselves and in humanity and go through all the weird and scary processes of exploring what it is to be a human being in the world and exploring what's really happening in our internal mechanisms, our self-preservation mechanisms, our responses to people. A lot of that actually is really terrifying. To say, oh shit, I thought I was being loving. Really, I just care about myself in this moment. And then being able to say, okay, I'm being selfish, or okay, I'm really just afraid and I'm trying to protect myself. So to have him be a stable base that's able to see beyond the manifestation of myself or the other residents as we're showing up in the world, and instead see our divine aspect, our bodhisattva nature, or the part of us that's capable of being a being of love and light in the world, because we all are capable of that, and he believes that and loves us for that and loves us where we are, which is an incredible gift. It's such a gift. Such a gift. And we all get to be mirrors for each other and grate on each other, and like chafing wheat. We get to help each other, polish each other. And I'm really grateful to be here in this moment doing this work. Want to share this with all of you and share big and small. Celebrate the big and small ways that we're all able to move towards light. And love. And healing. There's this quote that's been sitting with me from John Steinbeck's East of Eden. There is beauty in the truth. There's more beauty in the truth, even if it is a dreadful truth. And a lot of the truths that we're learning to sit with here are dreadful and scary, ugly and hard, terrifying and unexpected. But I think there really is a beauty in it, a simplicity in letting go of the stories and allowing the truth to shine. So that's what I'm celebrating and working on right now. Be well. Have a magical Monday.